Talk 916 with Greg Bull and Coach Greg Veroza.
If you'd like to participate in this show and listen live, there's a number of ways to do it. You can go to the Mixlr app, or you can follow us on Facebook Live every Sunday. You can also go on the wildfireradio.com website.
No,
and listen
don't
to us
do it.
Tuesdays
It
at
doesn't
3 o'clock
work.
Eastern, 12 o'clock Pacific.
Stop.
And if you want to contact us, head over to our website at sportstalk916.com. There you'll find all of our social media feeds, bonus after-hours content that you won't hear anywhere else.
Well, guess what? It's Sunday morning again, and it's time for Sports Talk 916. This is the 255th show.
Yep. And look at that. People are waiting for us.
Holy
Bumped up-
cow.
bumped
Look at
up
hey,
early.
look at Barn Bombs here.
Hey, Mikey.
Mike, little world trip.
We're twinning.
Oh, was he sporting a
Barmom has the same. Let's see. Good morning to you both. What's up, PK? What's up, Oscar?
is that Sean on there too?
Selby's on, yeah.
Nice. So yeah, it's another time for Sports Talk 916. I'm Coach Greg. That's Mr. Chief right there.
What's up?
Rocking the rose gold beats.
That's right.
They're cute.
Yeah, hey, whatever.
So what's going on, man?
Just chilling, man. Another day. Just got back yesterday from Reno. Had a little wedding for a buddy up there.
Oh, cool.
Wedding ceremony. Came home last night. Went to the candlelight vigil for Officer Stisic. Stisic, I believe is how you say his last name. Who was unfortunately gunned down here in Rancho about a week ago.
Almost right around the corner. Huh?
I heard the gunfire when I was walking to pick
Did you really?
up Kylie from school that day.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it was just like 15, pop, 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 pop. And I was like, what the hell was that?
Did you post it on Nextdoor?
Yeah, fireworks or gunshots? I
Yeah.
wasn't sure. No, but crazy. Yeah, so busy weekend, but we're here. We have
Yeah.
football early for the 49ers today at 10 o'clock. They take on the Chiefs. Good news for San Francisco fans came out of this game already this morning. We'll talk about that here in a few moments.
You want to hear about my week? You don't want to hear.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's
I was just pumped up. Go.
I know.
Go.
I went to the Eagles concert on.
You did Hotel California.
Oh, fucking awesome. So, friend of mine calls me. I guess it was Wednesday or Thursday? Wednesday, I guess.
Wasn't it during the football game? It was Thursday.
It was Thursday.
Well, he would have called you.
Yeah, it was Thursday. Thursday calls me about noon or texting me about noon and says, "Hey, I got a great deal for you. You want to go to the Eagles concert? And oh, by the way, just give me whatever you want for the tickets."
Here's a high five. Yeah.
So I get it still squared away. But my friend Tim Cardoza, who listens every once in a while,
Nice.
got tickets for me. So I went down there, took a friend down there with me, and it was the Doobie Brothers, Zach Brown Band, and the Eagles. And heard the Doobies, so we got there a little bit late. Got there just in time to hear Zach Brown sing Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen, and you have no idea what that song is.
I
I'm sure.
love that song. You kidding me?
So, and they did an incredible job. And then, of course, my top two favorite songs of all time are Bohemian Rhapsody and Hotel California. So I got to hear both of those. And Eagles were just, those dudes are pushing 70 years old, and they still fucking rock.
Right. It's crazy.
And Glenn Fry, who passed away a year or so ago, his son played with him and took over a lot of his lead vocals, and he was awesome. And then country guy named Vince Gill.
Heard that name too.
Yeah. Is now touring with them, and he's taken a lot of Glenn Fry songs too, and they were just awesome. It
Very
was
cool.
a great concert. So yeah,
Very
that's pretty cool.
And it was at AT&T Park, which sets up a great concert venue.
Yeah, well, I've been there once before. I saw the Stones, probably 15 years ago.
Were they rolling?
They were rocking and rolling, but I didn't like the show. The sound was horrible. We were kind of off to the side or something.
I saw the show previous. Looking forward to talking about a specific baseball topic you previewed, but let's get to that show naturally progresses. Yeah, Mike.
Oh, thanks, Mike. Okay, fuck you then. You don't want to hear my. Fuck you, Mike.
No, it sounds like you had a good time.
No,
Mike, we are going to get to that.
And I'm just kidding, Mike.
And I have a question for you folks in the comments or the chats. Mike Barnbaum did a great job reporting. on some AAA realignment that's
Oh,
happening
yeah.
this upseason. My question for you guys is, do we report on the Cliff Note version, or do I go full on Mike Barnbaum read? What do we do?
Cliff Note.
You don't think I read Barnbaum's dysentery?
Oh well. Oh no. Wait a minute. Oh, I didn't know. I thought you were gonna talk about it in.
No.
Barnbaum fashion.
Do I just talk Cliff Notes, or do I read his?
Oh no.
entire post?
You have anytime you can read a Mike Barnbaum post, you read it
All right, we'll get to that
You
here
read
in a
it.
moment. Some news came out
with the proper tonation too.
Oh, without a doubt. And yes, PK, the Raiders do play at 10 o'clock as well.
Good
What's up, Christian? Real quick before we get into football and a little bit of baseball stuff, Hollywood and LeBron James have announced that Space Jam 2 is coming out. And I don't like it at all. I don't think that movie should have been touched. I think it's a cult classic. It was done perfectly the way it was done. And they haven't said if it's a remake or if it's a sequel. A lot of people thinking it's going to be a remake, which
If it's
really
a remake,
bothers me.
yeah.
But it led me to kind of piggyback off of ESPN, and they asked, who should the new cast of Monstars be? If you remember back in the 90s, it was Patrick Ewing, Larry Johnson, Muggsy Bogues, Charles Barkley, and Sean Bradley. So I told you
I always wondered why Sean Bradley was included in that. Just because
right?
the only reason he was freakishly tall, but you couldn't get more of a
Like George Mirasan couldn't have been in it.
yeah, exactly right.
And TJ, if it's a remake and Bill Murray's not back in it, then I'm not watching the movie. But I kind of came up with a few ideas for a new Monstars lineup, and the first thing I said was, you can't just say the Golden State Warriors because they always beat LeBron. Like, you can't go with that route. You have to get creative. But what do you think of this one? Replacing Patrick Ewing, it's Willie Cauley-Stein, because he already looks like a monster as it is. Replacing Larry Johnson is Karl Anthony Towns. You put Isaiah Thomas in as Muggsy Bogues. You have Dirk Nowitzki fill in for Sean Bradley. And for Charles Barkley, LeVar Ball.
LeVar Ball?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, you had me at.
No, that was just my goof line.
I mean, if you want, I don't know, maybe you can make Bugs Bunny. No, you can't make Bugs Bunny LeVar Ball.
right.
Yeah, I like that. I actually do. I think maybe instead of Isaiah, well, you could probably put Chris Paul in there instead of Isaiah.
Chris Paul popped up a lot. My real one is DeMarcus Cousins. The fuck am I drawing a blank on his name? From the Warriors, Green. What the hell's his first name? Draymond Green. I want to say Devontae
That's what
Green.
I was thinking. Draymond Green.
Draymond Green, Isaiah Thomas, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Joel Embiid. You have to have the troll of the NBA as one of the bad guys in Joel Embiid.
Absolutely. I mean, Draymond.
TJ wins. Fuck it. Simbular as Sean Bradley. If anyone that doesn't know who Simbular is, Google
Right?
it.
Is he still playing?
No.
Oh, okay. I like it. I couldn't have done any better. I didn't. So.
Right. All right. Barn bomb time.
All right.
Here we go. Let me pull this up.
We need music.
Hi, this is Mike Barnbaum.
No
Alright.
music?
I can do 30 for 30, I guess.
Let's do 30 for 30.
All right. So as you guys know, AAA baseball has 3 to 5 year rolling agreements with different cities and different clubs for who's going to house their, whatever. 1 second. Whoever houses their AAA teams. And
Sacramento's been pretty lucky. We've had, in 20 years, we've had
2.
2.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're losing the Giants anytime soon.
No, we're definitely not.
No.
So this year, Barnbaum has been talking about this. Actually, before we do this, because Will just said let's go Oakland. big day for Oakland Athletics baseball today. Their magic number is 1 for a playoff berth. They can clinch today with a win. So as a Giants fan, I am rooting for the A's to pull this off since there. I want to see at least that Bay Area represented. So for one day of my life, I will say go A's. Okay.
I'm just going back to something that I just saw on here. Oscar, there will be no Dodgers baseball talk.
No, there won't be. Sorry, bud. Anyways, AAA realignment occurs all the time. It happens a lot more than we know, simply because a lot of teams get into like 2-year agreements and they shuffle around. But on the West Coast, we have a long way. But Barnbaum has been heavy on the beat because he is obviously a giant A's fan. Let's go with a huge A's fan. That just sounds weird.
Say giant. Yeah.
How did you do me a favor? You're going to do this little scrolly deal here since it doesn't scroll.
Okay.
Keep up on the comments.
Okay.
While I go ahead and read through this. All right, here we go. I'll have a minute. So on breaks today, I was monitoring Twitter to keep up with crazy shuffling that goes on in baseball when teams end their current player development contracts and enter into a different relationship with other franchises. This was written on Tuesday, by the way. It was quite interesting to see all go final today. Nonetheless, here's what happened in just a span of yesterday and today. Please bear with me as this can become extremely complicated. Here we go. What'd you do? You just gotta scroll. Just finger swipe.
I did.
Finger swipe.
I did it once doing it.
Okay. Let me restart this. I need a whole minute. All right, here we go. The New York Mets parted ways with Las Vegas 51s after the Mets ownership bought common ownership in the Syracuse baseball team. Going forward for good, the AAA affiliate of the New York Mets will be the Syracuse Mets. As a result, that put a burden on the Washington Nationals, who were with Syracuse, but as of today, the AAA affiliate of the Washington Nationals will be the Fresno Grizzlies. Let me make a note of that. That's fucking stupid. You guys are on opposite sides of the country.
Yeah.
That move meant that the Houston Astros are on the move. They will call the Round Rock Express their new AAA affiliate.
Texas, so that's close to them.
The Texas Rangers will then pack up from Round Rock and align their AAA affiliate as the Nashville Sounds, meaning a move for the Oakland Athletics, who had called the Nashville Sounds a AAA affiliate for the last 4 seasons, concluding with the 2018 season as their 4th and final year.
Which was stupid.
Yes. The A's are switching with AAA affiliate from Nashville to Las Vegas, with much going on in Las Vegas between now and March 31st. Las Vegas is not only going to open a brand new Vegas ballpark in the Las Vegas suburb of Summerlin, but they will be rebranding their team name during the offseason as well. They will not use the name Las Vegas 51s after the season that ended 2 weeks ago on Labor Day. The team name is not officially known as of yet. One thing that is known, especially for A's fans in and around Sacramento, #Sacramento, is that the Las Vegas Baseball Club will visit the Sacramento Rivercats 8 times each year in West Sacramento. When the A's were in AAA agreement with Nashville, the visit to Sacramento was only 4 games every odd-numbered year.
I didn't know that.
If you didn't understand that, what that means was that meant back in 2016 and 2018, the Nashville Sounds did not visit West Sacramento at all. Because, it's an odd year.
Right.
That will not be the case with the Las Vegas Baseball Club. They will always visit West Sacramento 8 games a year. So now all of AAA for 2019 and 2020 has been settled. A quick footnote to that the teams do not have the option and opportunity when a player development contract comes up to sign a 4-year agreement when common ownership is not involved. The Texas Rangers and Nashville Sounds entered into a 4-year player development contract that resulted in 2 baseball clubs being locked into each other until September 2022. For the A's fans out there, the agreement with Las Vegas goes until the end of 2020. It can always be renewed early on in 2020, but any relationship changes cannot occur until September 2020, or teams would risk violating MLB's tampering rules. I hope that explains a bit about the crazy amount of shuffling just recently. Here are the AAA affiliations that will be going to different cities in 2019 season, more simplified. Could have saved a lot just by going with this. New York Mets are going to Syracuse, Washington Nationals, Fresno, Houston Astros, Round Rock, Texas Rangers, Nashville, Oakland Athletics, Las Vegas. All remaining AAA affiliations that were intact for 2018 will remain in effect for at least 2019 and 2020. The minor exception to this is the fact that AAA Colorado Springs and the Milwaukee Brewers will move their existing AAA relationship to San Antonio for the 2019 season. They're extending their AAA affiliation through the 2020 season earlier this day. And let's see here. Mike, we're going to have a problem. This Facebook post is dedicated to Brody Brazel, Shannon Starr, Chris Townsend, Chris Kreipert, Oakland Athletics Booster Club, Linda Burkett, Don Kepler, Tim Fowler, Wendy Harden, Montag, Oakland Athletics Recaps, Oakland Athletics Fan Group, and the Oakland Athletics fans. Enjoy educational bit of shuffling and baseball in preparation for the 2019 season. Someone's missing from that.
Yeah, a couple of people.
Fucker.
And here's the other thing. Mike might be the only person in the world that dedicates his Facebook posts to certain people.
Not only that, Mike is the only person in baseball that wrote a damn
Six-page essay.
thesis on AAA movement.
When he could have just done it. Mike, I love you, but you're a little long-winded sometimes.
Right. Anyways, all good fun. So, A's fans, you'll get to see your team a little bit more. And you'll be good to go. You'll enjoy it. So, yeah, that. As I mentioned, baseball, the A's can clinch today, which is good. But it's Sunday. We all only care about one thing, and that is football.
I have to tell you, I am enjoying the old Red Zone that I used to watch again.
Yeah.
Without big ears.
I haven't watched Red Zone yet. I haven't had to.
Yeah.
We're gonna start off with.
Where the fuck is it? 2014. Oh, is that the realignment that brought the Astros into?
Fresno.
No, I think TJ's talking about the realignment that brought the Astros into the American League West, right, TJ?
Oh yeah. All right, so I had something saved up here about Richard Sherman. I can't fucking find it. But anyways, I'll keep looking for it.
Okay.
We're gonna start off with Oakland Raiders though, because
They're a fucking train wreck.
well, not only that, we talked about last week the possibility that Derek Carr could be traded. We talked, which I still think is a high probability. We talked about the fact that John Gruden is going to run this team into the ground before they move to Vegas
I
next
agree with
year.
that.
There's more fact of the matter that John Gruden is a moron.
Yes.
You want to touch on that real quick while I find the quote?
Yeah, I just don't understand what he's doing, and I think it's all ego driven, and I don't think Gruden wants anybody on the Raiders that are gonna grab more headlines than he does.
Right.
And I would bet, I started thinking about this week, I would give it probably less than 50% that he lasts another 2 years. I think the Raiders will eat the $10 million contract per year. They'll have to. They can't go into Las Vegas that bad. And I mean, they're starting to be Cleveland Brown-esque.
Oh, by the way, congratulations, Cleveland.
Oh, right, I know.
And what's funny is I was like, ooh, I'm going to get a win in our pick'em. Everybody but one person picked the fucking Browns to win that game. I was like, come on.
So yeah, I just don't think he's gonna. I mean, I know what they were trying to do, and they were grasping at straws to make sure that they'd have some kind of drawing card. And Gruden was definitely, every Raider fan has wanted Gruden back since basically they traded him away in 2002. But he hasn't evolved as a coach, and he wants it to be 2002, and you can't win that way. And plus, he's so egotistical that, like I said, he wants to be the star of the show, and anybody that's going to be any kind of competition for him, I think is going to get pushed out. And I think that's what's happened to Carr. It's definitely what happened to Mac. It's just not, you don't trade a guy like that. And I just don't see Gruden as being that effective as a coach. I said it at the beginning. I didn't like the hire. I thought it was stupid. I don't know. Talk about overrated coaches. He might be the highest overrated coach ever.
So Will Nanoff clearly didn't see our thing last week about trading Carr. There's strong belief, Will, that Gruden is not high on Carr. He doesn't want him around. He wants his own guy. Named floating around a lot is soon-to-be free agent Joe Flacco or via the draft. And the Raiders, who are strapped for cash, who obviously, because they didn't sign Mac, have been looking to possibly find ways to contract money. And one way to do that, unfortunately, is Derek Carr could be released at the end of the season before his guarantees kick in, saving the team $15 million in cap space. So there's a lot of chatter about it. I think it would be a terrible move, but at the same time, Derek Carr has not played like the Derek Carr that got that contract, and I think that's already growing frustrating on John Gruden. Now, to continue on why John Gruden's a moron. After week 2, who, by the way, the Raiders right now have less sacks and interceptions as a team than Khalil Mack has by himself in 2 games in Chicago.
Yep.
When asked about that, they asked about the pass rush. They asked about, moving on. And by the way, anytime Gruden answers a question about Khalil Mack, it shows that he's egotistical. He needs to just say he's not on this team anymore. We're not answering questions about the guy, but yet he continues to wipe his own ass as he talks about it. But when asked about the pass rush, this is what John Gruden says, and I quote, "It's hard to find a great one. It's hard to find a good one. It's hard to find one." Gruden said, "College football now, they're not really dropping back to pass and throwing footballs anymore. They're throwing laterals, and they're throwing bubble screens, and they're throwing read options. So you got to train these guys. It takes a little time to learn how to rush the passer. We've got some guys that are in the process right now." You had a great one. You had a good one. You had the best one in the league, and you let him go. It wasn't hard to find. You joined a team, and he was on your roster. What do you mean it's hard to find a good one? You had him, you dipshit. Like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy?
I say he's an idiot.
Thanks, Boach. It doesn't make sense. Is he so far up his own ass that he doesn't realize what he's doing to this franchise?
You said it. I mean, of course he is. I mean, and then I think his defensive coordinator kind of said the same thing, didn't he? That that they're just hard to find. Or you have to train them to do it. Well, you had one. It's Oakland Raiders.
Oh,
it's the Raiders.
This article continues.
Oh, okay.
At this point, Gruden is practically begging to be ripped as a clueless moron every time he opens his mouth about the Raiders' pass rush and the decision to trade star pass rusher Khalil Mack. From a public relations standpoint, the trade is a failure, and Gruden has done himself no favors with the way he has talked about it. You can't find a great pass rusher? Then why did you trade the one you had? But Gruden was playing the long game when he traded Mack. He knew he wasn't making his team better in 2018. The question is whether the Bears' first-round draft picks in 2019 and 20 as the salary cap flexibility of getting rid of the expensive Mack will help the Raiders build a more competitive roster. In the long run, it might work out that way. For now, the Gruden's team is 0-2, and he's struggling to explain why. He doesn't know. He is stuck in 2002.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And he said that. He said that he wants to bring football back to 1999, where, you're passing less, you're running more, everything is up the middle, everything's underneath center. It's just, you can't play that way anymore.
And you're not going to have Marshawn Lynch for very long to continue.
And
to play
Marshawn
that
Lynch
way.
isn't even Marshawn Lynch anymore. I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah, he's
Marshawn
not doing
Lynch looked pretty fucking good the first couple weeks, but it's a joke of what he's doing right now.
Yeah.
You say that you don't think he's going to make it through this contract. I don't think he is either. It's, like I said before, it's a Band-Aid. It's a way to get them into Vegas, and probably 2 years into Vegas to bring those Raider fans over with them. And then at that point, they're going to try to establish something new and try to build basically a new fan base.
Just to clear it up, Marshawn Lynch isn't Marshawn Lynch. He's got 29 rushing attempts for 106 yards.
Yeah, that's true.
And 4 receptions. He's not Marshawn Lynch. So, yeah, I think what Davis did is he said, okay, we want to get to Vegas faster. So I'm gonna hire Gruden, but we're also gonna get rid of anybody that's making any money so that we suck. So Oakland fans give up. And I think the newness of Gruden is going to wear on them by week 4 or 5. I mean, I think it's already starting to wear on them. Maybe another couple weeks, maybe week 8. They'll start. You're going to start seeing fewer and fewer of the fringe fans that are over the Chucky thing that are going to stop going. You're still going to see people there at the games because Oakland Raider fans are maniacs. But the biggest thing is they want to get to Vegas. So they have Vegas. The $100 million is going to strap the organization. They're not going to be able to get players because they don't have. It's not like they're not like other teams where they have built-in ATMs.
Are they going to be the Sacramento Kings?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hope they draft well. Hope they sign older guys at lower contracts and hope it works out.
It's what it's got to be because they don't have the Gruden hire completely decimated their flexibility, and they're not going to be able to go out and improve themselves by paying more money.
Oscar hit the nail on the head. It says Viva Chucky. He's sabotaging the team, and it just went away. Hold on. Sabotaging the team so when they leave, it's easier for the fans to accept them going to Vegas. That's exactly what it is.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's what we were just saying.
And then Oscar asked something earlier. Chiefs Niners today. Yep, that's happening. David Smith wanted to talk fantasy football. Anyways, someone asked, when are the Kings going to get... Oscar asked, when are the Kings going to get national attention like the Browns? When they win 40 games? Like, they have... I mean, obviously the Browns winning one is huge because it took them 635 days, but maybe it'll take...
the Kings aren't ever going to get national attention like that. They're
Midway Monsters, you whipped my ass last week.
They're too good to be that bad, if that makes sense. They're too good to have the national attention of they're that bad, and they're that bad where nobody cares.
Right. The Kings would need to start the season like 0-25 in order to get attention.
0-40, something like that. The Kings, there's really only one place in the whole damn country that anybody cares about the Kings at all.
Sacramento.
Yeah.
So Jim Crandall put out a thing the other day and said,
I saw that.
You see my comment on that?
Yeah.
So Jim Crandall put out a note that said Bogdan Bogdanovic goes down and has a minor knee injury, and by the way, Keith Juggernaut, way to blow that out of proportion and have a diva pose. Oh my God, he's gonna miss serious time. They said it's a minor knee injury. He'll be fine. But Crandall posted a thing about the story. He said there's only 2 comments on it. What's going on? It's so bad that Sacramento Kings fans don't even care about their team. And my comment was, well, maybe it's the person reporting the information that's not getting the comments and not the news itself. My Facebook page, Oscar with the Kingdom, the second Bogdan's news broke, it blew up. People were talking about it left and right. People just don't like Jim Crandall. And that comment got a lot of likes before I believe it was removed.
Was it really?
The post may have been removed. I can't find it. But anyways, I digress on that. Do you think the Raiders get their first win this week?
No.
In Miami?
No.
Oscar says yes. I don't think it does.
I don't think they do.
Let's see, Albert. The problem is precedent that was set. The purpose of draft picks is to have them help you build your franchise. Mac became the face, the brand, and became elite. Now that they cut him, every other draft pick is going to say, "What the fuck? They aren't going to try to pay Mac. How the hell will they pay me now?" Exactly. What if they bring in the next guy, and he turns out to be just as good as Khalil Mack, or they bring in a running back who starts setting records left and right. Let's say they grab a Todd Gurley or they bring in a Julio Jones or someone that just blows up, then what?
Well, first they're not going to.
Right, but I'm just saying, what if something like that happens? Or what if there's a player that could sign with Oakland and, you know, they have an opportunity to do so, and then all of a sudden they're going to be like, wait a minute, they're not going to get any money. It doesn't set a good view. And I think there's already a perception around the Raiders as it is that Mark Davis is running this team like his dad did, and that's a problem. So I don't know. I feel bad for Raider fans.
So let's look at the Raider schedule. Tell me when they're going to win a game.
I think their best chance is today.
So they have Miami today. Okay. Cleveland next week.
No, they could beat Cleveland.
Yeah, but what are they going to do? Like Mayfield's going to be the starting quarterback.
Mayfield hasn't been announced yet because Hugh Jackson's an idiot.
Well, there's all kinds of reports they're going to do it tomorrow.
Right. What's up, Lily?
The Chargers. That's a loss.
Yeah, they're not winning that game.
Seattle.
No. Well, meh.
That game at 10 a.m.
I don't know.
That's weird.
Is that the London game?
Sunday, October 14th. Oh, maybe that's.
That could be the London game.
Yeah.
Because, the Raiders love to
Right.
give up home games when they're about ready to leave their city. That makes a lot of fucking sense.
I don't see them winning a game. If they don't win today, they play Arizona on November 18th.
They can win that game.
Yeah. I don't. Maybe 2-3 game winners at the most. They play Indianapolis. They could beat Indianapolis. But I don't see them winning more than 3 or 4 games at all.
They could beat the Niners.
Shit, anybody can beat the Niners.
Right. It's gonna be rough. On the flip side of the other side of the bay, the 49ers got some really good news. Here's a good take. Josh Zimmerman. Anyone think that Gruden took the job out of spite and is running the team on purpose because he was fired? Well, first of all, he wasn't fired. He was traded. Maybe. I mean, I don't think he wants more losses on his record. He's already damn near a losing coach in his career. So I just think his ego allowed him to go, hey, look, they're going to offer me $1 bajillion to coach this team. I'm going to take it.
Yeah, I mean, hell, anybody would take that job for $100 million.
And the fact is, he can lean back on, well, everyone loves me. I'm John Gruden.
Right.
I'm the savior of
Chucky.
the Raiders. I'm Chucky. I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Right. And that's what he's doing.
And Mark Davis
that's
doesn't
what
have
he's
the
doing.
balls to sit him down and go, no, you can't.
No.
With his damn bowl cut.
And the person that's really paying the price is Reggie McKenzie.
No. The people that are really paying
Well,
the price
besides
are
the
Raider
fans.
fans who actually
fans.
support this damn team.
And who thought that Gruden was going to be the savior? How many people said, "Well, Super Bowl next year we got Gruden"? Well, that happened. That went away as soon as Khalil Mack didn't report.
Oscar says that the magic number for the Dodgers is 7. I can see that happening, a lot sooner than later with losses. Arizona and Colorado aren't playing very well. What's up, Steve? Sharks are back. I said it earlier this week. I think my first Shark sweater is going to be Carlson. That dude is a beast. I was watching highlights of him in the Sharks game the other day.
I have a buddy that lives up in Vancouver, British Columbia, and even he said that the Sharks are, with Carlson, look out. They're going to be awesome.
They're going to be amazing. Will Sports Talk 916 be at Media Day for the Kings tomorrow? No. Sports Talk 916 has to work. Let's see. Albert. Kind of like the New York Knicks and the Phil Jackson. Paid him a shitload of money to do nothing. Well, I added the to do nothing part, but yes, you're right. They added him a shitload of money. He didn't do shit.
Hired a name. That's what they're doing. They're hiring a name.
Yep. It's like the Sacramento Kings. They bring back Vlade and Peja and Christie and all of these, former guys, and it makes fans happy, but it doesn't result in anything. So
see, I disagree with you. I don't think it's the same because
the
Gruden
initial move, I believe, was the same.
Gruden and Jackson had success. They won Super Bowls. They were.
How many Super Bowls did Jackson win?
Championships. Hey, your buddies
I just saw that
all over.
He switched to Twitter to try to get people to listen to what he has to say.
I think they had a name, and people were hoping that the magic that those two guys brought to other organizations, and Gruden didn't bring any magic to anybody, but the perception is that he did. that they would bring that magic back, and Jackson didn't, and Gruden hasn't, and I think that there was no track record for Vlade and Peja.
No, and I agree with that. But the problem is Sacramento, without the success, that was our name recognition. That was our big name. It makes people happy. I mean, short of bringing Chris Webber in to be GM, I think Vlade's the next one on the list.
Right.
And, you know, it was a Band-Aid. It was the thing, oh, look, we have a new building. Everyone's happy. Oh, shit, that shine wore off real quick. Now what do we do?
No kidding.
Okay, let's bring in Vlade, make everyone happy. And then let's get rid of Cousins and blah, 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 blah.
Wonder
blah,
what
blah,
attendance is going to be like this year.
8.
8 people?
Yeah, Oscar, the Santich family, that makes 7.
And Sign Lady and her husband.
Sign Lady Nico, that's 6. And then Barn Bomb. Boom. 8.
7. 8. Yep.
Anyways, Niners Chiefs, 10 a.m. kickoff. Good news for the Niners. Bring back white chocolate. Well, it has only been 2 games for the Raiders, and they're not showing anything. I know you're a huge fan and you're an optimist, but think outside the box a little bit. They're on a path for destruction, and the tank's gonna be driven by John Gruden. Eric Berry out for the Chiefs today. He's been out for a couple weeks since preseason with a heel injury. Jaquiski Tart and Garnett are the only 2 notable inactives for the 49ers this week, which means Marquise Goodwin back on the outside.
He's gonna be limited though, I think.
From what I understand, he's a full go.
Really? It's not what
And
saying this morning.
the big one coming back, besides Reuben Foster, who's back from a suspension,
Oh yeah.
making his 49ers debut, who signed with the team in the offseason last year, is inside linebacker Malcolm Smith.
I forgot all about him.
Right. A lot
I
of
didn't
people
even
did.
think about him.
Smith's making his debut. You have Warner. You have Foster in the middle. That's going to allow the safeties and the corners to play off and allow a little bit softer coverage, which is going to make Mahomes throw the ball, make him actually have to dissect the defense, because the Niners have had to play press coverage the entire time. Richard Sherman asked about, I think he throws 4 today, Oscar. Mahomes throws 4 touchdowns today.
I hope so. I'd love that. I'm starting him over Roethlisberger.
Sherman was asked about what happened with Pittsburgh last week. How did Pittsburgh get so shredded by Patrick Mahomes? And he simply said the Steelers overcomplicated things. They were throwing stunts and surprise blitzes and all this other stuff, and he was just eating them alive with the deep ball. When the Steelers played straight up zone coverage with 4-man fronts and a blitz with maybe a linebacker dropping one into coverage, Mahomes' stats dropped by like 50%. He just ate it up on all the other fancy shit they were doing. So he says the Niners just need to come in, play smash mouth football, let the front guys rush, let the linebackers do their job, and let the cornerbacks do their job, and it should be a different story. You get Marquise Goodwin back, that opens up the Niners offense because, like Kyle Shanahan said in the press conference this week, when you have a guy like Goodwin who can run past everybody on the field, defenses can't play on the line. They can't crowd everybody because there's always that deep threat. Now they're going to have to play off a little bit. They're going to have to run up and make tackles. They're not going to be right there for the tackle. It's going to open things up. You bring in a speedster. It allows for a little bit more time for Jimmy G to move around because the defenses are going to be a little bit more laid back. I think Matt Breida has a big game today because the Chiefs don't do well against the run. Breida right now leads the league in rushing. It's going to be a raucous environment for Jimmy G to come into. It's going to be a shootout. I think Mahomes and Jimmy G just go fucking crazy today. Josh Zimmerman says 45-48 Chiefs. I would
love that.
I would
that would
not be surprised if the teams are way the hell up there in points.
Yeah.
That reminds me, I need to get into my fantasy leagues and make a few adjustments. I think I'm starting Jimmy G today. Shit. I forgot. In our league, I got Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Ooh. That's going to be that's an interesting.
Against Pittsburgh, though. So it's like.
Well, what did Mahomes do against Pittsburgh last week? And where's the game being played?
In Pittsburgh. No. And it's Monday night. Fuck.
It's Tampa Bay. I'd stay with Fitzpatrick.
Fuck. God damn it. Anyways,
So I know we're talking Niners, but you mentioned Fitzpatrick. That's an interesting situation.
Conor
That's going to
McGregor?
happen. No, what's going to happen when
Winston's not
Winston
getting his
comes
job
back.
back.
No.
Winston is not getting his job.
But you
Even-
don't lose your. What about all the times they say that you don't lose your job because
because of an
of
injury.
injury.
He wasn't injured. He's
oh,
suspended.
that's right, he was suspended, huh?
And he already has players coming back saying that they don't want him to lose his job. They don't want Fitzpatrick. Deshaun Jackson,
Oh,
the
they
number
don't-
one wide receiver, said when Winston's back, he doesn't want him to slide back into the starting role by default. He wants Fitzpatrick to stay in there until he loses it. Fitzpatrick is lighting it up.
He is, and he did well playing for the Jets and the Bills the last couple years too.
Right.
So he's
All right. Sorry, Philly fans. I'm going to give Carson Wentz another week. I'm starting Garoppolo over Wentz this week.
That's pretty smart.
Moving to my third league. What are your thoughts on today's game? Do you think the Niners have a chance?
I think it's going to be a shootout. I think even though the Niners are getting all those defensive players back, I still think it's going to be a shootout.
I think Goodwin's going to be key. It's going to be
I don't
huge
know.
for them.
You know, I'm just not. I mean, I'm a Niner fan, and I hope they do well. I'm just not. Something about this team just doesn't smell right to me. I just don't. I just don't feel it. I just don't feel like they have everything that it takes to be competitive.
I disagree with competitive. They've
Well,
been
no,
competitive in every
no.
game.
Competitive in terms of playoff spots and being a team that you can expect to win every week. They're an 8-8 team at best right now, and I just not feeling it. And I think it goes back to what we talked about. Oh, hello, who's that?
I don't know.
It goes back to what we talked about at the very beginning of the year, and that's offensive line.
So I found a way to prevent Greg from talking. I just scroll Instagram and look at fitness pages, and he loses.
I
the
lose
shit.
my train of thought.
It's like squirrel,
Shiny thing.
right? Big butt.
Right.
Oh crap. But yeah, it'll be. I think this will be a fun week. There's a
I think
lot
it's
of
going to be.
games that
It
are
is going to be a
intriguing.
fun week, and I'm looking forward to this game. It's going to be a fun game. A lot of offense. I think the Niners defense could do some stuff. I go back to the Niners offensive line. I just don't see him being able to protect Garoppolo
Hold
like
on.
they need to.
Josh, elaborate on that. Goodwin versus Hill, who brought in the Olympics today. I want to know what you mean by brought in the Olympics. They asked Goodwin about
Oh,
Hill.
because they were talking.
Well, no. But I want to see if he brought in if he did something to bring people to the game or whatever. Because they were asking.
No. So they were talking about this morning on Fantasy Football Today or whatever on ESPN, and they said if it gets to overtime, all they want to do instead of playing the 10-minute overtime, they just want to line up
Run a
Hill.
40.
Yeah, no, they want to line up Hill and what's his face at the end zone, at one end zone, and whoever gets to the other end zone first wins.
Nice. I'm good with that. Let's go through this real quick.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I'm not here to get back in the presidential race. But you never know. I could be swayed. America needs me. Okay, now it's time for the most luxurious, amazing, incredible picks in the world. Mine. I'll take the Ravens to top the Bengals, even though that doesn't make sense because cats eat birds.
My
I'll
favorite
also
part
take
of
the
this.
Rams to beat the Seahawks, but who really cares? My upset pick is the Eagles to beat the Giants, and my wild card is the Bills to sink the Dolphins.
All right, boys, you heard his picks. Now it's your turn. Greg B, who you got?
How'd you do last week, by the way?
Not good. I'm in 4th place right now. Week 1, I got 1 point because we all missed week 1, I think.
No,
We all got 1 point in week 1. How does that work?
no, I have 6 points.
That was week 3. Just kidding. I'm backwards. I got 6 points in week 1. You got 8. I had 8 last week, and I'm at 1 so far. So I'm
And I
trending up.
And I got 9 last week.
Yeah, I'm trending upwards. So I'm in 4th.
We're getting killed by TJ and James.
James is whooping ass. Yeah. So this week I took the Browns. You took the Browns. Everyone but my mom took the Browns.
You know, it was a lot more fun last week when we were doing it after the game started and everybody was behind that we picked.
Right. Yeah. Oh, did you see? I clipped that up and put it on.
Oh no, did you?
On Facebook. Yeah. So if you do want to join into our, so here's the deal. So we run a pick'em through CBS Sports. It's free to play. You just go in, you pick your winners and losers. No point spreads, no nothing. If you want to join in, we're in week 3. There's still obviously time to get in. If you join the league and you're in another pick'em pool or you've done other things where you've made picks in the previous weeks, if you send a screenshot or a photo of that to our Sports Talk page when you join the league, I can go back in as commissioner and add those picks retroactively so you're not 3 weeks behind. So
That's
if
cool.
you're like, hey, I want to join, but I don't want to start off behind the 8 ball, first of all, we're doing shitty, so you could probably still win.
2 good weeks and you're ahead of us.
Yeah, 1 good week and you're probably ahead of us. But I can retroactively add those picks back into the league. And we could, later, Oscar, thanks for joining, bud. And we could get those in. So look for it. There's a video showing last week when we were picking teams and everyone we were picking was losing. Join us. It's free, like I said. We'll get you guys in. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So let's go through the list. Chiefs, Niners.
Chiefs.
I have the Chiefs as well. Broncos go to the Ravens.
I like the road team in this. I like the Broncos.
I'm taking the Ravens at home. The New York Giants travel to the Houston Texans, both 0-2.
My disappointing team of the year, the Houston Texans.
Right.
I'm taking the Texans.
I'm taking the Giants. Raiders, Dolphins.
Taking the fish.
So am I. You know what? Do I want to switch that? I feel like I need to have some kind of...
How many games have you won this year?
Yeah, right. All right. Packers, Redskins.
Packers.
Got to go with Rodgers. Eagles, Carson Wentz is back versus the Colts.
Going Eagles.
So am I. Bengals travel to the Panthers.
This is actually a tough one to pick.
It is.
I'm taking the Panthers.
So am I. I just changed it literally right now. Titans travel to the Jaguars.
The Jaguars are on fire.
Yeah, they are. Sticking with them. Saints go to the Falcons. Oh, my voice is woo, Falcons.
Going the Aints.
I'm going Falcons. The Buffalo Bills, they are who we thought they are traveling to the Minnesota Vikings in Wisconsin, apparently, by the way, if you didn't see
What?
that. The Bills put out a tweet that said, we're headed for you, and they put up a picture or something of Wisconsin, not knowing where the Vikings play.
God.
So there may not be a game because they may show up at Lambeau looking to play a game, and the Packers are going to be on the road.
Milwaukee County Stadium. This is the easiest pick on the whole board.
Yeah, I think so too. Vikings. Chargers go to the Rams.
Rams.
I think they walk there, right? They just kind of like put their backpacks
Well,
on.
they have to drive from their mini stadium over to the real stadium.
I'm going Rams.
Yeah, me too.
Cowboys travel to Seattle.
It's the Who Cares Bowl.
I hate this.
It's the hate bowl.
I really hate this. I'm taking the Seahawks.
Yeah, me too.
Damn it. The Bears travel to the Cardinals.
The Bears and the Cardinals are who we thought they were.
Right?
That's where that started, by the way.
The Josh Gordon Patriots travel to the Lions.
He might not play today. He's a little dinged up.
God damn it. I have him in my starting lineup. Hold on 1 second.
Again, a no-brainer pick, but
All right, Josh Gordon, you're out. Just because I don't trust it, we're going to go... do I go Cup or... Cup Ridley Goodwin? I think Goodwin gets targeted a lot today. I'm going Goodwin.
okay.
Make sure I don't have him in any other league. Oh, fuck, God damn it. It's got to be Doxson then because Edelman's suspended still. Oh, that hurts. God, that hurts a lot. I need wide receivers in that league. Sean,
You're also taking fantasy advice from
That's
me,
okay.
and I'm 0-2 in this league in both leagues, both Yahoo leagues I'm in.
I'd rather risk it.
I'm 0-2.
Steelers go to the Buccaneers on Monday Night Football.
I'm taking the Buccaneers.
So am I. The only game I'm trading, I'm going to take the Raiders over
Are
the
ya?
Dolphins. Yep. So there you have it. There's our picks. And because you are 0-2 in fantasy football, and I don't want to wait until the final game of our thing, I'm going to put Garoppolo in over. I'm going to put Garoppolo over Fitzpatrick this week, and I'm going to take Goodwin out, and I'm going to play Connor Cup. No, I'm not. I'm going to play Calvin Ridley.
Or Cooper Cup?
Cooper Cup, whoever it is, his brother. I'm going to take Calvin Ridley. He had a little bit of a showing up last week. I'll regret all of that when we reconvene next week and talk about it. What's his name? Fitzpatrick's going to throw 7,500 yards today. Garoppolo's probably going to throw 15 picks, and we're going to end up losing. But it'll all be in good fun.
Yep.
For Greg Veroza, I'm Greg Bull. It's football time. We'll see
done?
you guys next week.
We're done?
We have nothing else to talk about. You got something?
No?
All right. We'll see you.
Okay. Night, Larry.
That was quick.